Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Ron, aka Ron the Artist, coming to you live. And welcome to Ron's Recap. I'm here today to recap and review the TV show Naomi on the CW, Season 1, Episode 6, titled Homecoming. Let's get into it. It was a great episode, guys. It was a great episode, guys. It was a great episode. It was a great episode. Cliffhangers. Let's just say Naomi is getting closer and closer and closer, even though she's constantly being warned about doing so. She's getting closer and closer and is endangering practically everyone around her. But let's get into it. Let's get into the episode. The episode started off with Skateboard Sunday. With Naomi and her parents getting a little bonding time together until they unexpectedly ran into Zumbato at the skate park. No bueno. No bueno. It was a freak out moment. Definitely a freak out moment because at this point he's trouble. He can't be trusted. Anytime he's coming around, it's the bearer of bad news. Zumbato is the bearer of bad news. So definitely, it's not okay. It's not okay running into him randomly. That was too much of a coincidence. Okay, so on to Homecoming 2022 fundraiser committee. The students are coming up with ideas regarding the homecoming performance, and they're figuring things out. Ideas, bouncing off of ideas, floats and, who raised this much money and who's about to go into this fundraiser and who's going to bake XYZ and who's going to perform. And I remember those days. Cute. Okay. On to Naomi. Naomi and Dee were training. They were training, and not only does Dee compliment Naomi on her improving, on her improvements, that it stopped. Dee wanted her to watch over the shop as he left, He wanted her to hold over the shop as he left, watch over the shop as he left or whatever, because he had a mission he needed to get to find out about this koala character. He needed to find out about this koala character, and he wanted her to keep training while he was gone. And of course, she questioned that, why do I have to keep training? Why can't I just rely on my powers? And he was just letting her know, you'll be that much more badass if you not only use your powers and your fighting ability. You may even be stronger than Superman. Who knows? She liked the idea of that. Okay, all that convo was stopped up until, Nathan intervened in their session/convo. He intervened to come and, see what was up and came to pick her up, cute. They left holding hands. Naomi and Nathan left holding hands, reminiscing about their past lives, growing up, and about their progress, as army kids, and, the yays and nays of being an army kid and growing up in different environments. And they also went on to talk about her training, They talked about the training, and she got to show them a little bit of the training. Okay, so it's cute. The next scene ended up being with Naomi and Annabelle ending up back at that weird abandoned building with the script writing, the script looking writing that was left on that wall the last time they saw it. But little do they know, Zumbato made the writing disappear. Keep going back as they keep, they keep going back to these spaces they were warned about, but I get it, but then again, I don't. So Naomi then gets close to the wall to touch it, and pretty much she, tapped onto her fighting ability. She tapped onto another component of her ability. She tapped onto another component of her ability where she realized she had X-ray vision. She had X-ray vision, and not only could she see inside the building, she ended up seeing like a little button that she could press to open the door up to that building, which was so freaking cool. So cool, so cool, so cool. And again, she unlocked another component out of her powers, X-ray vision. I wonder how far can the X-ray vision go? How far? What is the exempt of it? Because when Annabelle was like, "Hey, can you see? Check X-ray vision my body because dot 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 dot," and I'm like, "Girl, have a seat." Annabelle, she is a character. Annabelle is a character, but I like her. I like her. So she saw into the room. She opened up the door to the secret room, which contained a spaceship in it. Ooh. It contained a spaceship, probably the spaceship that Naomi came in on Earth. That she came to Earth on, as her and Annabelle speculates. Like, I wonder what made them speculate that she came from that spaceship. I don't know. Okay, so back to the homecoming. As the clock is ticking for the homecoming, apparently Anthony's paper mache float was trashed and had lots of students laughing at it. But since Nathan was near it, Anthony assumed Nathan did it, which landed into more words between the two, words exchanged, and a pushing match, which got them both in detention. No bueno. No bueno, no bueno, no bueno. Next up, D, he makes a visit to Adam Blake at this bar where people with powers or aliens, are free to explore, a safe space where they're caught into this land, they're caught into this world on that planet, and apparently this bar is a safe space for them. D was, surprised by it. D then informs Adam about why he had him track down a mercerer. He called it a mercerer. Why he tracked down a mercerer due to Koala's name, being on the bounty holders list. He informed them, he gave the intel, They all were under the impression that Koala was dead, but there's a possibility that she's not, and D is determined to get down to the bottom of it. I get this funky feeling that something is really up with that character, Koala. I get that it's clearly a woman that he used to be in love with, but D isn't quite telling it all. I feel like D is not quite telling it all about this Koala character and what actually happened between them. So I can't wait for that to unravel. I just had to say that. On to Naomi. Her and Annabelle, made this decision, or you got this idea for her to go to the scientist who speculates and, does research on alien beings. So Naomi made her way to the scientist who might be able to identify the rock stone that she found near her spaceship. And almost instantly of identifying the rock, the scientist knew where the rock came from. And she didn't necessarily know where it came from, but she did know it came from a different planet, infused with technology from a different planet as well. She knew that the technology was different, and she knew that it came from a different planet. And she also made the assumption that the rock belonged to Naomi due to recognizing that Naomi isn't from this planet. And that opened up a whole new can of paint, because I was like, what? What is going on with this woman? Scientists then let her know that her study goes much further than this Earth, and that she knew that Naomi wasn't from this Earth because of, encountering beings from Earth or from outer space, other beings. And I guess she knew the interaction, and I guess her lab could also detect that. Her lab then started to instantly detect Naomi's powers, etc. She then went on to help Naomi temporarily enhance her powers with her devices. All that being said, it had Naomi convinced that this woman, was an ally, at least for now, to find out, wait a minute, if she thought she was at least an ally, and she asked her, could she help on finding her birth planet, Earth 29. And at that moment, I was like, This is weird. That was too easy. That was too easy. Like, why? I wrote literally, why do I feel like this is going to come back to bite Naomi somehow? I felt it because it was, she didn't know that woman from a can of paint, and that woman already kind of knew that she was an extraterrestrial being, or she was a being that wasn't from that planet. So I was like, no bueno. Like, she already knew and already had technology to help enhance the ability and XYZ. And I'm just like, that was not it. That was not it. That was not it. So the next scene went back to Nathan and Anthony. And they were in detention alone, going back and forth, diving deeper in their conversation, wondering, if the real issue was about Naomi. And ultimately it is. Because that's really all they have in common is Naomi. Anthony clearly feels like he's a better fit for Naomi than Nathan, on top of not really liking Nathan due to his background as an army kid. But somehow that weirdly turned out to them being allies for now, to find out who actually trusts Anthony's mache flow for homecoming. Yeah, that little bromance is weird. I don't know if it's a beef, a threatening situation, or bromance or whatever, but I hope they get over it and really soon. Really, really soon. Okay, so the next scene, Dee and Adam approach, a guy at the bar that they felt knew something about Koala. And the guy was defiant at first until Dee got physical with him, breaking his nose. And then in the midst of that, he noticed a ring on his neck. He noticed a ring on his neck that was identical to the one on Dee's neck. Coincidence? I think not. Apparently, this guy did get, the ring from Koala and confirmed that her death happened just a few planets away. Just a few planets away. Not knowing why Koala was on the planet, but apparently they both were pinned down and Koala was killed. So he took the ring off. He took the ring as a reminder of what could have been as his death. That was weird. I found that weird that this man would take a ring from somebody else as a reminder that, that this happened and that this could have happened to him. It could be true, but I'm not quite so convinced. I don't know. We shall see with that. The next scene being, with Naomi's parents, Greg and Jennifer arriving home from what appeared to be like somewhat of a date night, till they heard someone in their home. Zumbato, of course. Greg pulled out a gun on Zumbato, and Zumbato quickly used his telekinesis ability and with the gun, snatched it away from him. Zumbato then informs them that they should probably leave town because Naomi's presence is endangering not only them as humans, it's endangering Zumbato's life as well. And Naomi is in danger due to Naomi being on a hunt, due to Naomi, her presence, now has a price on it. So ultimately threatening, Zumbato was bad news. He was threatening them to do something with that situation or else. Deal with the situation or else. Deal with the situation, get lost, get out of town, or else leave. Not to add, the general is on their behinds as well. Little do they know. And Greg and Jennifer better watch out. They're going to be protective of Naomi, as they should, because they've raised that girl since the beginning. But I don't know what they should do at this point because stuff is getting real. Stuff is getting too real, and Naomi is not safe from every angle, from the army, Zumbato, whatever his motive is, the bounty hunter. So much is going on, and it's like, what next? What next? So back to Naomi and the scientists. They're getting down to the nitty-gritty, discovering that she's from the same planet, just a different universe. So Earth 29 is exactly Earth, like this planet. but it's on a different galaxy or in a different universe. Earth 29. Okay. Naomi didn't really know what to do with that information. The scientist then shows Naomi the prototype for a new software that she was working on. A new software that she was working on or whatever to help identify, the things and identifying, beings and where they're from, then showing an image of a man taking it, which was Zimbardo, of course. So back to Nathan and Anthony. Nathan and Anthony pretty much breaking into Mrs. Varsity's office. I don't know if she's the principal or what, but she pretty much, broke into the office to get the keys to the security room to help find out who trashed Anthony's float. And they almost got caught. I was scared for Anthony because I was scared for Nathan because Anthony was the one, on the cover. Anthony was the one, watching out who was what. And they already got this beef somewhat. Can they be trusted on either end at this point? So, yeah, I almost thought, Anthony was going to throw Nathan under the bus while he was trying to distract Mrs. Varsity outside of her room. But he still covered for Nathan. He didn't throw Nathan under the bus like I thought he would. And mission accomplished. They got the keys to the room. Not only did they look at the camera, but they saw who did it, which was that freaking girl, class president. That girl was weird. Off. Jealousy much? Probably. Jealous much. So, back to D and Adam. Incoming trouble with D and Adam. The guy who knows he's broke for intel came back with reinforcements ready to fight. It seemed like 6 to 8 people. Against 2 people. Zimbardo was not in the scene. It seemed like 6 to 8 people against D and Adam. Adam Blake, like, what? It was a lot. But of course, D and Adam prevailed. They prevailed and took Koala's necklace on the way out. Adam took took Koala's necklace off of that guy's neck on the way out. On to the homecoming situation. Karma served that little class president girl right. Who trashed Anthony's float because she lost the pie contest that she was so adamant about. She lost it and that was that. And somehow Nathan, offered to eat the her pie. I thought they were going to go confront her, but I don't know what was up with that scene. So back to Naomi. As she skates towards home, she gets an unexpected visit from Zimbardo, using had to be telekinesis to knock her off the skateboard. Threatening her as well. See, why Zimbardo gotta keep threatening? He gotta pop up at people's houses and come out of dark spaces threatening someone. Like, that, his character baffles me because one moment, he hasn't been nice at all. But yet he somewhat attempts to come off as an ally. I don't get it. So, he threatened Naomi, telling her to stay away from Star Labs or else. Pissing Naomi off, causing her to use her powers against him, which was impressive because this is the strongest her powers has gotten so far as what it's appeared, but still wasn't enough. He deflected every blow she threw at him. Then, calling her a disappointment. Like, you're such a disappointment, which I feel like that is going to be fuel for Naomi in the future. Fuel. And I hope it is because I want to see Naomi, master her powers and her fighting skills. So when she goes against Zimbardo is going to know that she is not to be messed with. And I want to see it. I want to see it. We need it. So back to Naomi's parents. Naomi's parents gifted her a scrapbook, of past memories, which was sentimental. It was sentimental. They, I guess, again, they moved all around. They moved all around. They moved all around, and they helped celebrate it. They helped celebrate it, and they reminisced on it, and it was a cute little moment. But that moment was ruined by a text from the scientist telling her she had intel on E29. And again, like I said, I felt like that was, and it was late too. I felt that it was something fishy with all of that. So crazy. The next scene was Deep, putting his ring back together with Koala's before he stored them in a box of things that were hers, probably. Koala. They probably belonged to Koala's, or a box of things that they shared together, which was another sentimental moment. But is she really dead, though? Is she really dead? I get this funky feeling that Koala is going to be a character that we see somehow. And it might not be in a positive light or manner when we do see her. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. Because there's nobody else attached to D in this story outside of Naomi and possibly Zumbato. So we shall see. We shall see. We shall see. Naomi went back to the lab. She went back to Star Labs, under the impression that the scientists had intel, only to figure out that it was a trap. It was a trap to set Naomi up with the Dilostel, sourcing from a machine to attempt to collect data on Naomi's powers and probably take her powers. Naomi tried to fight off the beam of this machine or whatever, and the first attempt kind of worked, but the scientists increased the beam and it drained Naomi. It drained Naomi completely. Her attempt to fight it didn't work. See, again, she has to master her powers. She's got to master them some way, somehow. Well, what do you know? Surprisingly, Zumbato came in to save Naomi, practically destroying the lab. Not the whole lab, but at least that machine. He informed her that he should have told her the truth about that lab. And he should have told her the truth about the scientists and to come with him. Finally, for a change, there was a light around Zumbato. He seemed somewhat like a caregiver, somewhat of like a father figure at that moment. And he saved the day by taking Naomi away. I was happy to see it. I was happy to see it. I was happy to see it. And the episode ended pretty much there. I can't wait to see next week's episode, guys. It was good. It was good. It was good. I'm starting to get more involved with the show, and my attention span is really staying more on the show. It's engaged, and the plot is thickening. I just want to know what's going to happen next. At this point, again, Naomi should be staying further and further away from the madness that's going on, but she is so determined to find out what is going on and what is her real identity. And I don't blame her, but then I do, because she sees, the more she gets into that, she sees madness just falling out everywhere she turns in her search and finding this information. But yet she still tries. She goes looking, and she keeps finding pieces to the puzzle that just get her more and more in trouble and more engaged into madness. So we shall see what happens. We shall see what happens. I can't wait. I'm ready. So that's all I got for you guys. That's all I got for you guys this week. If you're watching this right now, we're on live Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is pre-recorded and taken from Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe, like, comment, or share on this video. Let's talk about this recap review. How did I do? What did you think about the episode? Let's talk about it. If you're watching this on Instagram, let's talk about it. Comment, like, share. Let's talk about the episode. Let's talk about the recap. So until next time, guys. Next week it is. I'll see you guys then. Peace.